And welcome to the 6:15 News with me, Kejang Henry. I think let's flag off with our top stories. Marriage rituals halted until June 2025 in the west region of Cameroon, precisely in Banjul. This was disclosed during a secret meeting that took place in that part of the country, of course, coming on the heels of a law that has been passed on traditional marriages. And in Bafang, beverage distribution was sparked protest in Bafang as retailers go amok. They are contesting delivery policies by some brewery companies. And Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. John Gute, has finally inaugurated the 6 billion franc landing square and market in Upwe. This was done today amid the Japanese-Cameroon cooperation. Top stories.
Canal International.
Thanks and welcome to the 6:15 News with me, Kejang Henry at Timber. Of course, our platforms are open for consultation. Let's begin from the west region of the country, where marriage rituals have been halted until 2025 in the west region. This was disclosed particularly in Banjul, where there was a biennial ceremony to talk about this.
Tensions flared in the beverage supply chain as small retailers in Bafang in the Open Camp Division, west region of Cameroon, staged a protest at the sales office of a major brewery company. Brandishing placards with messages of dissatisfaction, the retailers alleged that the distribution company is delivering limited beverage supplies exclusively to neighborhood wholesalers. They claim the company is also imposing a minimum order requirement of 50 crates for supplies, a condition they say is impossible for many small businesses to meet. We, the vendors, are frustrated. We are ignored and forced to buy a minimum of 50 crates, which we can't afford. Despite paying taxes, we are told stock is already allocated to others. This treatment is unfair.
Wholesalers demand that we buy 50 crates to get supplies, leaving many retailers without stock. We all pay taxes, yet only a few are prioritized. We need fair regulations to address this.
The brewing controversy comes as the company grapples with a significant beverage shortage. A representative of the brewery acknowledged the scarcity but insisted the issue is beyond their control.
The shortage is real. Our warehouse is nearly empty, with only a few plastic products left. Customers are rightly upset and waiting with tickets for any available stock.
Meanwhile, the situation on the ground appears dire. Several delivery trucks were seen idling at the distribution centers, awaiting fresh supplies of beer and other popular drinks. For small retailers, the current policies and shortages have sparked discontent and left them questioning their ability to compete in the market.
Well, sorry for that mix-up. That was Gladys Ambo reporting there on the brewery distribution rules that actually sparked controversy in Bafang as some of the retailers went amok. Now, the Prime Minister, Head of Government, has finally inaugurated the more than 6 billion francs ultra-modern land space and fish market in Upwe. That is in the littoral region of the country. And of course, this is going to be a significant boost in the sector, coming at the heels of acute shortage of fish in the country. Details in the following report.
The fishing community of Yupe Douala has entered a new era with the inauguration of an ultra-modern landing space and fish market. The facility, inaugurated on December 27, 2024 by Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Dian Kuti, represents a transformative step for the fishing industry in the littoral region. This ambitious project, made possible through a non-refundable grant of 6 billion francs CFA under the Cameroon-Japanese cooperation framework, is set to revolutionize fish trade and enhance livelihoods in the region. Built on an expansive 6,100 square meters, the market meets international standards and addresses long-standing challenges in fish storage, conservation and trade. Prime Minister Joseph Dian Kuti reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting initiatives that directly impact livelihoods. The Prime Minister highlighted that this project complements similar Japanese-funded initiatives in Meiganga and Kribi, solidifying Cameroon's position as a fisheries hub in the sub-region. The inauguration marks a moment of pride for the Yupe community, which now boasts a modern infrastructure that promotes sustainable economic growth and strengthens local and national trade.
We there for new place now, so because place where we be in a mud will suffer a lot. I'm happy as government maybe will come up for that mud and will they fine for years so and we market they fine, we'll keep on fine and will customer go happy. That way he can reach for here and he see us, they go happy and for we go dress fine for here not be play for dirty and play for dress fine.
I'm so glad from this place and God is save we, give we life, but we can see today and it see the new market.
Fisheries and animal industries. Fish production in Cameroon reached 230,000 tons in 2023. With the inauguration of the new fish market, Cameroon aims to boost fish production by 100%.
And we swing over to Yaoundé, where Cameroon has pledged to boost its first or the fight against money laundering terrorism function meeting in Yaoundé, as you report, Beatrice Ngamo.
The mission of the Coordination Committee on National Policies against money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation of weapons of mass destruction is to work out plans to take Cameroon off the grey list of Financial Action Task Force. In other words, show proof she is very capable to combat these challenging issues affecting her. Being on the FATF grey list can have negative consequences for a country's economy and financial system, including restricting cross-border transactions, making it more difficult to obtain credit and limit inward foreign investment. Businesses, on their part, are advised to apply additional checks when dealing with customers from countries on FATF grey list. Meeting this December 27, 2024, in their second session in Yaoundé, under the supervision of Finance Minister Louis-Paul Motaze, engagements were taken to intensify the combat in that light. The goal is to prevent criminal activities by depriving them of funds and ensuring the solidity, integrity, and stability of financial and economic system. The authority is determined in this light to work with all stakeholders, including the National Agency for Financial Investigation, the Supreme State Audit Office, to remove Cameroon of a present situation and strengthen its fight against money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation of weapons of mass destruction.
And over in Bafang, over in Banjul in the west region of the country, where marriage rituals have been halted until June 2025, and the west regional hub. But this comes as there was a secret burial ceremony that took place in Banjul, and of course, coming on the heels of what is known as a law that is legalizing traditional marriages. Details with Gladys Ambu.
The Kermasu, a central pillar of the Banjul Kingdom's cultural heritage, has captivated the people of the west region of Cameroon for nearly 2 weeks. Held in the Konki division, this ritual is led by the Douanier of Wamesu, spiritual priest of one of the most sacred institutions in Bamileke society. The civil wedding has nothing to do with the rituals, only the customary marriage, which is prohibited. It's a ritual observed every after 2 years, so it must be respected. These revered notables have performed the rituals at key altars across the kingdom, engaging in practices with profound metaphysical significance. Their mission is to faithfully interpret the wisdom of the ancestors and channel the regenerative energy of the cosmos known as Kermesu. The event is steeped in tradition and cultural laws, including a strict prohibition on customary marriages until June 2025. This sacred pause underscores the importance of the Kermesu as a time of spiritual renewal and reflection for the Banjul people. Since its launch on December 11, this biennial celebration has seen young initiates undergoing rites, receiving ancestral values, and being trained in personality development. I got myself initiated because I want to witness what's going to happen on the 29th live with the elders. Sunday, December 29, 2024, the celebration will reach its peak at the Simke site in
We're sorry for that poor quality of that report, a technical quality of that report, but then we will be coming back to it in our subsequent editions. A new law that is granting legal recognition of customary marriages in Cameroon has actually sparked heated debate amongst many circles of men and women. Now, the presidential decree, in fact, it's not a decree, but the law that was enacted by the president has actually given some strength to customary marriages, which must be recognized in the country. Once more, Sherifa Sada report.
In Cameroon, a new presidential decree has stirred controversy, particularly among men, over its implications on gender dynamics and legal protections.
Je ne trouve pas ça bien. Ça emprisonne les hommes.
The decree, which gives legal recognition to customary marriages, requires couples to declare their unions to a civil registrar in the locality where they were born, reside, or hold their marriage ceremony.
On ne peut pas encourager que tu viennes prendre l'enfant de quelqu'un pour rien.
We can't accept such, not because your daughter has been dowried that her civil wedding won't be celebrated. I don't buy that decree. After the declaration, the union is subjected to a 30-day objection period. If no objections arise, the marriage is officially registered in the civil registry and recorded in the couple's birth or marriage certificates. It comes to solve many problems couples face out there. I really appreciate the new measure. While lawmakers have lauded the move as a victory for women, many men have voiced strong opposition. Critics argue that the new law disproportionately benefits women by protecting them from long-term concubinage and granting them legal rights traditionally tied to civil marriages, including inheritance and spousal support.
It's a
step forward for women who will have equal rights with those who have the civil status. This will help reduce concubinage. As the debate continues, the new law marks significant shifts in the cultural and legal landscape of Cameroon.
Well, thanks very much for that report, and we still talk something cultural, this time moving to the northwest region of the country where Chi Eugene Ngwashiri has been enthroned. He's 49 years old, enthroned as the new phone of the Akum fandom. Chi Eugene, who is a senior commissioner of police, succeeds his father, George Ngwashiri. Now, the grand ceremony took place at the Royal Palace in Santa. With calls from Northwest Chief Correspondent Annie Collins, just this report.
49-year-old Chi Eugene Gwashi, the first of Akum village, has officially taken traditional powers from his people. Thousands of Akum sons and daughters converged on the royal palace recently for the traditional stoning ceremony.
This is the beginning of a new era. The coming onto the throne of a new phone is always considered to be a new era. And especially as he's a young man, well-educated young man, the senior police commissioner. He has come to use all his knowledge and experience to help manage all the human, financial and material resources of the community.
It was attended by administrative authorities like governors Adolf-Lele Lafrique of the Northwest and Awa Fonka Augustine of neighboring West regions, and a cross-section of traditional rulers who brought a piece of advice.
As a traditional ruler, as a fund, you need to have two bags. The bag for good things and the bag for bad things. Another advice is that embrace everybody. Don't take your father's enemies to be your enemies. Everybody should be equal before you. And you have to discover people by their performance.
I'm a princess of this is where my lawyer comes from, and according to the tradition, I'm the child that was sent.
At the time youths are carried away by social ills, some say it is time they were put back on track.
Every element of this subdivision should support our youth with farm inputs. My role as a youth leader in this subdivision is to encourage our youth that the soil has never deceived anybody.
As senior police commissioner by profession, J. Eugene is succeeding his late father, George Ngwashi, as Phone of Akum, the village in Santa Subdivision, popularly known as Small London, some months after the late father joined his ancestors.
Thanks very much, Ambo Gladys, and congratulations to you and your colleagues from the Northwest region despite the odds. And newly appointed officials of the Ministry of Environment, the Nature Protection and Sustainable Development have been cautioned to curb growing environmental risk or crisis. Now, they were commissioned in Yaoundé by the Minister of the Environment, Hele Pierre. Details on that with Hyacinth Chair.
It is duty-taking day for the new Inspector General appointed by the Head of State on November 11, 2024, the Director of the Promotion of Sustainable Development, the Director of Norms and Control, and the Technical Advisor number 1, appointed by the Prime Minister, Head of Government, as well as heads of different services at the Ministry of Environment, Protection of Nature and Sustainable Development, recently designated by Minister Hele Pierre. And commissioning them into office, he calls for commitment and frank collaboration to produce results.
Il est crucial de laisser une empreinte.
I encourage you all to leave your footprints by being dedicated to your work. You must be available and assiduous. You must remain attentive in dispatching your duties. And installed this December 27 in Yaoundé, they are quite aware of the heavy task ahead.
It's a very exciting mission for me to control and evaluate how the services are contributing to the challenges which the ministry and the country in general is facing. We have challenges of climate change, loss of biodiversity. We have to combat pollution. I think this was the main issue we want to try to follow up in the field and help the ministry to achieve his mission.
The Inspector General urges all collaborators for a team spirit.
We are together, we are one.
Well, thanks very much. Matthew Fangwa will be here in a split second with the debrief, the actuality, and of course with his technical experts on sports matters. The debrief will span till the evening of the French edition of the news. I'm Kejang, wishing you a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.